explored, and remote viewing fit very much with his philosophy of how do we convince our conventional intelligence analysts and their commanders not to discard information just because they don't understand it at that point.
Basically, remote viewing is an advanced communication skill where without the aid of anything beyond your own self, your own mind, your own awareness, your own consciousness, you're able to collect accurate information about some place distant in space and time.
The Army began to use remote viewers in the late 70s. In those days, remote viewing consisted of sending someone into an altered state and directing their minds toward a military target. Most of our targets were secret Russian bases, military bases, and we could not penetrate those bases by hook or by crook using orthodox traditional means.
We had some intelligence failures. One that's discussed is a Typhoon-class submarine. Turns out we had all of the information from Joe McMoneagle and the remote viewers to have determined that the submarine was coming. Our boat builders rejected it, said, you can't do that, we don't know how to do it, so therefore certainly the Soviets aren't going to. The information that was provided by remote viewers turned out to be highly accurate, and then later the clouds parted, the cameras came on, and there's a big submarine, double-hull submarine, that is dramatically different from anything that we've seen before.
For me, the idea that one could be a remote viewer, the whole concept was awing. And when I learned this, it changed my worldview forever, because I, as well as one who learns remote viewing, knows that you can never look at the world again the same way, because you know that you can know anything.
I've traveled all over the world, and I've been to some pretty remote places, and one of the things I've noted that we talk about those who believe in a spirit world and the real world as if they're separate and distinct. And yet we have cultures here in which that's impervious. They move seamlessly between the spirit world and the real world. Phenomenal people. And some of them have never made or received a phone call. Now, when you get into how do they live, how do they find game, many of the things they do are very similar to what we call remote viewing.
I'm not in the military anymore. I retired some years ago, but it's still such an extraordinary skill that I just don't want to put it on the shelf with my uniform. And so that's why I teach and train remote viewers, because it is an uplift in how the human thinks.
Individuals took this on in their own particular way, and that's what made it work, because that was the point of it, you know, out of the box, everybody.